Hello. For this problem, 13% of Americans suffer from sleep apnea. A research suspects that a lower percentage of those who live in the inner city have sleep apnea. Of the 388 people from the inner city surveyed, 43 of them suffer from sleep apnea. What can be concluded at the level of significance alpha 0.05? Well, it's a z-test for a population proportion because it's a proportion, not a mean. So it's a z-test. Since it's a proportion, it's p. So this is p. The null hypothesis is always equal to. And then they said the proportion was 13%, written as a decimal 0.13. This is always the exact same thing except for the middle. And we want to test that there's a lower percentage, so that's why it's less than. To find the test statistic and the p-value, you use the hypothesis testing for proportion, and we fill in here. Level of significance. Alpha 0.05. Sample size was 388. Number of yeses, 43. Population proportion, that's from your null and alternative hypothesis, which is 0.13. Test statistic. There it is right here. Negative 1.123. The p-value. This was testing less than, so it's a left tail, which means it's 0.1307. That's our p-value. Now, you need to check if it's greater than or less than. You're comparing this value with your alpha. If p is less than alpha, reject. So this was less than. So that's a left tail, 0.13. And we're comparing that to 0.05. So the p-value is greater. P is greater than alpha. If p is greater than alpha, fail to reject, right here. So we fail to reject. If we fail to reject, then it's not significantly smaller than the 13%. So that's what you want to look for. So it's not significantly smaller. Interpret the p-value in the context of the study. The p-value was 0.13. So, if the population proportion of inner city residents who sleep apnea is 13%, and if another 388 inner cities surveyed, then there would be a 13.07 chance fewer than 11% of the residents surveyed have sleep apnea. So this is telling you the chance of it being wrong. And then this is saying This is going from the alpha. There would be a 5% chance that we would end up falsely concluding that the proportion of inner city is smaller than 13. So a 5% chance that we would be wrong.